Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Suicide Squad. You got me, Regal. I had to give in and I had to buy into one of these Regal promotions because it was just too good to pass up. So I had to see Suicide Squad Thursday night in Real D 3D, which usually I would not choose to do. Not a big fan of 3D. Just so that I could get this awesome Joker Funko Pop keychain. Isn't he adorable and awesome? As you can see, I'm rocking that Suicide Squad gear. I bought a Suicide Squad poster because I was really excited to see this movie. The trailers were amazing, and it just seemed like such a cool, awesome concept. And then I unfortunately saw the Rotten Tomatoes score, and usually I try to avoid all reviews, so I still haven't read a review or listened to a review on Suicide Squad, because I like to go into the film and go into my reviews completely fresh so that I can bring you my authentic opinion and I'm not tainted or using other people's words. But with these big blockbuster superhero films especially, sometimes it's hard to avoid seeing Rotten Tomato scores or hearing opinions on films when you are a big movie nerd that roams the internet regularly. So I saw the score, and I have to admit, it brought my excitement level and definitely brought my expectation level down just a notch. And I think ultimately, Suicide Squad landed somewhere in the middle. I didn't love it as much as I was hoping I would love it, but I definitely didn't dislike it, and I wouldn't give it a 33%, which is what I think it has, somewhere around there on Rotten Tomatoes. So let's just start with the many things that the film gets right. First of all, the cast was all really strong. Harley Quinn was wonderful. She lived up to my expectation. I thought Margot Robbie was fantastic in the role, and I just wanted more Harley Quinn. I kind of am just jonesing for a Harley Quinn Joker movie just by themselves. And speaking of Joker, I thought Jared Leto was a solid Joker. It was definitely a third distinct, different Joker adaptation on the big screen. It was nothing like Heath Ledger, nothing like Jack Nicholson. It reminded me more of some of his comic book adaptations, even more of like the animated Joker we've seen, both in cartoon movies and the cartoon series or the video games. It was just very different, and I commend Jared Leto for sticking to the vision he had for his Joker and making sure to have it stand out other than just, having ridiculous tattoos and a grill. I also thought Will Smith was very good. He brought his usual Will Smith charm, which has been oddly missing from his last few films, but was able to really bring in his acting chops as well and dig a little bit deeper. And the rest of the cast was all fine as well. I love Viola Davis. She was a little bit underutilized, but she brings a certain gravitas to everything she does. So I was happy to have her in there. And the rest of the Suicide Squad themselves all delivered solid performances. Also, the visuals were really, really well done. Outside of one of the villains, their power set sometimes looked very CGI, but the rest of it all looked great. I thought it had a very nice, distinct visual style, which we could kind of tell not only from David Ayer directing, but also from the trailers and the marketing material. And I think the last third of the movie was wonderful. I thought the last act was just really strong, and that's how you want a movie to end. No matter what happens, especially in that second act, as long as you can really hook people at the end, I think you'll be a certain level of success. And I thought the movie did a better job than Batman v Superman, for example, of blending humor with deeper seriousness. There were some really nice little one-liner moments, and then there was some really good deep character development with a lot of these characters. I wouldn't actually say character development, but character moments where we learned more about the character. The actor really pulled it off, and they were given a moment to shine as characters, as actors, and something a little bit deeper for, the comic book genre, if you will. And my only complaint there is I wish we had more of those moments. I wish we had more time to delve into these stories, or we had more just character interactions instead of just, action and joke. I wish we had more time to just develop these serious, deeper topics. And I'm going to go ahead and let that subject lead us right into the negatives. First of all, that first act was so strange. And really, it was just an entire first act of origin story that was nothing but exposition from Amanda Waller. She was talking at us the entire first act of the film. And it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, okay, can we move past this at any point, please? I will give it up to David Ayer and the filmmakers for, at least visually, making it look different and editing it a little bit different, doing some different things. But ultimately, it was still Viola Davis telling us what's going on, telling us everybody's power, introducing us to all of these different characters as quickly as possible. And really, there's just a lot of exposition in this movie. Period, that's not only slowed the pacing of the film, but just made it feel weird. Because we went from really fast, awesome, in-the-moment scenes to flashbacks, which I thought always brought the movie to a halt. These flashbacks were almost never needed. Actually, I can't even think of one that I thought that was a great flashback. I'm glad we had the time with this. And a lot of them center around Harley Quinn and the Joker, and again, I would just much rather see that movie. A separate film dedicated to those two characters and cut out all of their flashbacks here. They weren't needed, that emotional connection was needed a little bit, but I think it was well established enough in the current scenes that those flashbacks just got in the way of moving the story forward. And unfortunately, the script is overall pretty weak. The story is a little bit pedestrian. It's a little bit been there, done that. And a lot of the one-liners land, but just as many don't land. And we get, really corny kind of lines throughout the film, corny concepts. We're reminded over and over that the Suicide Squad are the bad guys, and we're only here because you're forcing us. And it just felt really contrived, come the 4th, 5th, millionth time that a character literally states that they're the bad guys. And I think that's kind of a byproduct of the fact that David Ayer thinks that this movie is much edgier than it actually is. It wants to be Deadpool, but it didn't have the bravery to go as far as Deadpool did. It didn't really stick to the jokes and the hard R that Deadpool clearly went for. And I think maybe if they had pushed the envelope a little bit more, maybe it would have been more successful, but I'm not sure that actually would have solved the problems here. Because in the end, I think the overall big issue is that David Ayer, as a director, really prioritized style and aesthetic to actual content. Because he was so interested in creating an interesting looking movie and creating these amazing set pieces and awesome visual effects and cool camera work and slow-mo that he forgot about, let's make sure the script is solid. Let's make sure that the pacing is proper and that we're creating a good story. Let's make sure that we're moving things along instead of continually just halting in the middle and then trying to play catch up again. And it's really unfortunate because there are so many good things about this film that if David Ayer had just, looked at the problems, this could have been an amazing movie. But in the end, I left the theater having a good time. I left with a smile on my face. I thought it was fun. I thought that third act was really strong. It left me on a good note. There were just too many problems to give this a full price recommendation, but I definitely think it is worth a matinee. It's gorgeous to look at, and it's a good time overall. Plus, make sure you stay for the after credits because there is an after credits scene that's a little bit try-hard, but we're not going to go there. Also, I did see this in 3D, as I said. Unless you know that your Regal is still handing these awesome little Funko Pop keychains out, there's really no need to see it in 3D. It would look just as good, maybe even better because it'll be brighter in 2D. So, that has been my review of Suicide Squad. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like, down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Suicide Squad? Have you already seen it? If you have, what is your opinion? And what is your favorite DC Universe film thus far? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!